What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Hope you, your friends, family are all doing safe, healthy, and happy. Today we are planting two types of tomatoes, uh, giant pink Belgium and early girl. We're transplanting them from inside to outside. Let's get to it. Once again, welcome in. Hey, about 3 weeks ago I planted a whole bunch of stuff indoors in hopes that it would warm up soon. So last night was really our last cold night, it looks like. Hopefully our last frost was this week. So now it's time to transplant tomatoes. So I grew them indoors, or I started them indoors, and they've been going for about 3 weeks, a month-ish, something like that. Um, so now it's time to transplant them into my raised bed. So I got two spots that I need for the giant pink Belgiums, and then I got two spots for the early girl tomatoes. That's what we're going to plant today. So we'll start out with these giant pink Belgiums. And so first we're going to take them out of the container. Make sure that when you are taking these out of the containers that you give some support to your plants and then just kind of squeeze the edges, right? Because you don't want to damage anything. You don't want to damage the stems. Squeeze the side till it gets loose, till it comes out. And you see that the roots, they're not too bad. I'm a little leggy, a little weak, I think. But we'll get them planted, we'll get them watered in, and we'll get them fertilized. So we're going to start with that. In this one, I have three of the giant pink Belgiums. So we're going to take this apart a little bit. Now, when you're taking these, you see that the roots are kind of wrapped around a little bit. You got to be very careful that you don't damage those roots. It'll still grow, it'll still produce, but the less that you can damage that stuff, the better. I plant in the 1 foot square method, so each area is 1 foot, and that's where I plant some things. Right here, I got some basil, grows great with tomatoes. So that's what we're doing, and we're just going to put the tomato in, and you'll notice, if you can see it, I'm putting them pretty deep. You want all the roots in, you want most of the stem in when you transplant these. Get a little mound around it and give it some support. Pack it down just a little bit and go from there. All right, so these next ones, I'm going to split these up too. Now when they're close together like that, you really got to be careful on these roots. So I'm going to shake off most of the dirt so that way I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to kind of slowly split them so that way come out, plenty of root. And you want to bury them deep so that way all the root and most of the stem is up underneath or under in the ground. Now, if you look at while you're transplanting, I probably should have done this earlier, but these bottom two leaves, this one here and this one here, you want to pull those off. I didn't do it in time. I wanted to get these in the ground today, but I should have pulled those off. Those are like fake leaves, right? Those are the first ones that come out when the seed sprouts and it comes up through the ground. Those are the first leaves. You can get rid of those, but you have to do it a few days in advance. That way, when you pull it off, the stem can actually heal, right? So that way you're not having an increase in the possibility of getting diseases and things like that. So I'll do that later. So this is an extra one. I'm going to just put this over here. This is a blank spot. So I'm just going to throw one extra tomato over here because when I planted these, I made 2 holes in each container and I put 2 seeds in each hole. So I have extras just in case some of the seeds didn't produce, but most of these produced. So I left some extra areas in my garden plan just for this, right? If you have some extra ones, then you can still plant what you have and don't waste any. If not, I just give them to the neighbors. So this one came out of here somewhere, but my other giant pink Belgians are here. So I'm going to plant this one, and I want to go real deep with this one, almost up to those leaves. So that way it has support, because it's pretty weak. That way it has support, and hopefully the roots will take, the stems will get strong, and it'll still produce a tomato. All right, so this last one that we have, you can see something just happened with that. I don't know what it was. I think it'll be okay. The stem is still good. The roots should still be good. So we're just going to plant this one. We're going to dig real deep with this, and I'm just going to take this whole container and put it in here. Not the container itself, but that way I don't have to mess with the roots on this one. And I don't damage it any more than it already is. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if it works out. I seem to be a little off on my plants this year. They're pretty weak. But, I mean, again, we'll see what happens. The roots are good. We'll see what happens. All right, next we got the early girl tomatoes. They're going to go here. Here's my basil, and then early girl here. So here's my early girl plants. Again, very leggy, very weak. So I definitely got to get these in the ground, get them watered in, get them fertilized with some nitrogen. So that way they'll get stronger and get on to producing. All right, so same thing. I got 2 in here, actually 3. But I'm only going to plant 2 of those. All right, so once again, when you take these out, give the plant some support, squish the sides, so that way the whole dirt comes out, and then you can just split them from there on how you need to do it. Because I want these separated. So this would be the first one, and I want to go really deep with this one because it's tall. I'm going to make a little mound around it just to give it some more support. And we'll go from there. Next one. I'm just going to plant these 2 together, and I'll thin it out later. One of them is going to be buried, but that's okay. Very weak. My stems are very weak. I didn't put any fertilizer in when I planted them in the house this year. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. See how it works out. All right. So there's the 2 early girls, and I'm going to put another one right here in this area. So in this one I have 4, but these 2 are very weak. So I'm going to start off planting these 2. They're weak too, but they're longer. They're growing well. These ones, yeah, I'm not so sure. I have another extra spot in here that maybe I can put them. We'll see what happens. So support the stems. Squish the edges. And the whole thing comes out. So as I'm separating these, I'm going to separate these two big ones. And then I have to separate them again because they grew so close together because I put 2 seeds in each hole. So we got to separate them very carefully. You don't want to rip the stems and you don't want to rip the roots if you can help it. All right. Put it all the way down in there. Cover it up. Make a little mound around it to give it some extra support. It's pretty close to this one, but we may have some problems with that later on. Planting the second one, same thing. Very deep. Get all the roots in there. Most of the stem in there. That way it has a whole lot of support. Now, I do have an extra one. I got 2 spots over here. I'm going to leave these open because I've had some cherry tomatoes in this bed for a couple of years now. Some sun gold cherry tomatoes and then Candyland cherry tomatoes. I think there's probably seeds in here, so those may grow by themselves from last year. So I'll wait and see what happens. But these 2 here, I'm going to plant these. I don't know if they're going to do well or not, but I'm just going to put it right in the middle of this spot and we'll see if they grow. Just to test it. If they don't grow, they don't grow. I got a couple other ones that are growing here. Same thing. Get them deep. Support the stems. And go from there. It doesn't look great. They're very weak. But I think we'll be okay. And what I'll do now is after I end the video here, after I end the video, I'm going to put this in. I'm going to water them in, put some fertilizer down. And then maybe in a week or so after they've grown, I'm going to put some more dirt down on top just to kind of cover them up a little better, give some new nutrients to the dirt. This is the same dirt from last year. That's what I have for you. Giant Pink Belgium and Early Girl tomatoes. Both of them are fantastic for sauce and salsa. These Early Girls, I've grown these now this will be the 3rd year, and they're about a baseball size. Fantastic. The Giant Pink Belgiums are probably like softball size. The only thing I don't like about them too much is that they have a huge core inside. So if you're using them for sauce or salsa or whatever, you lose a lot of the tomato because that so much core is in there. But that's the plan. Appreciate you stopping in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your family. If anybody's interested in transplanting tomatoes from inside to outside, I appreciate y'all. Have a fantastic week and be good to each other.